hit that sub if you know. Hit that like button. I'm almost monetized, y'all. I just checked. It said, I got my 4,000 watch time hours. I just need the rest of my subs now. Which I'm happy with that. How's everybody been though, man? I appreciate everybody that's been coming out, showing up, watching the videos, sharing it if you have. Hey. But yeah, I appreciate y'all for real. I'm almost there. We almost there, y'all. You feel me? I need like 470 subs, 460, something like that. I don't know. I'm just chilling right now. I ain't doing too much, y'all. Pop in, talk to me though. Just got off work, been a long day. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna turn my camera off real quick so I can. I don't want to do this on camera. Hey, what it do? Hey. Might have to run that back. I'm almost done, chat. Give me 1 second. Yeah. I ain't showing sympathy. I'm riding on the enemies. Hey. beat snapping though. Oh, I went that way. You can still see me. If you're new, hit that sub button, man. Yeah, that beat was snapping, no cap. This guy. What's the deal? Shit, chilling. I don't know, Brody. It started getting a little weird at the end. You feel me? Like, I read what I read. If I was wrong, I was wrong. But oh well, fuck it. It is what it is. How you been though, bro? Shit. You got that loud. Always. 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 Hey, 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 hey. Hannah. For sure, that's good to hear, man. That's good to hear. That's on the watch. Let's find something to watch, chat. Something good to watch, man. Don't be shit good to watch though. Let's watch
This is Story Recapped. Today, I'm going to explain a comedy, horror, and sci-fi film called Zombie for Sale. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. One stormy night, a man crawls out of an underground pipe. Elsewhere, a car's tire blows out, forcing the driver to stop. To the surprise of the couple inside, a tow truck seemingly appears out of nowhere. The truck driver, June Gur, claims that he was passing through and saw the accident. With no choice, the couple allows him to help, unaware that the spike that blew out their tire was planted. The following
Damn.
morning, at the garage next to the gas station, June Ger's sister, Hae Ger, finds that one of the rabbits is sick. Outside,
no doubt.
June Ger tends
all
to the
good,
couple,
Brody.
having repaired their vehicle. The owner complains about the expensive costs, but June Ger blames his pregnant wife, Nam Ju, for the prices. This makes the owner question their credibility, but Hae Ger loudly slams the garage door open, halting the argument. Seeing her expression, June Ger complains that she killed one of the rabbits again. He then turns to the owner, insisting on removing the parts he installed on their vehicle so they won't have to pay. Wanting to get it over with, the owner hurriedly pays them and leaves.
Sorry,
Meanwhile, the strange man from the pipe tries to attack two women, but he's so slow that they just move away without noticing his attempt. Kids start throwing rocks at him, so he chases them into the village but gets chased away by a dog. Elsewhere, the family's
See,
patriarch.
but this the thing though. It was weird. Shit was getting weird. You feel me? Cuts like on some mental shit. You know, shit was getting weird, bro. You feel me? And I was just cool. You feel me? Like, shit definitely started to get weird. That's not a good one. I'm looking for a good movie review. I'll be watching them all day when I'm not reacting, bro. Now that I'm live streaming, I'm finding the stupid ones. We'll watch this one. Fuck
Story recapped here. Today, I'm going to explain an adventure, drama, sci-fi film called Chronicle. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. Andrew is a high schooler living in Seattle with his sick mother and abusive father. Andrew is an outcast, having little to no friends and being relatively unknown
you
at his
told
school.
me.
Tired of his father's abuse, Andrew decides to buy a camera
what
as a
happened?
sort of deterrent for his father. Andrew tells his father that he'll be recording everything from this point on. Andrew visits his bedridden mother, Karen, and she wishes him a good day at school. Andrew's cousin and closest
What happened
friend,
with your
Matt,
bro?
picks up Andrew, and they both head to school. Matt gives Andrew nuggets of wisdom from philosophers he's been reading on, and Andrew teases him. Andrew spends some time recording his school, showing the camera where he eats and hangs out. Some teenagers bully Andrew and take his camera away, teasing him. They eventually give it back after
He was
ridiculing
giving
him
bros the
on their
Mika
own
mock
way,
'em.
teasing him.
Mock 'em.
They eventually give it back after ridiculing him. On their way home, Matt invites Andrew to a party, but Andrew declines. Matt is adamant about making Andrew come, thinking that some time outside can be good for him. Andrew reluctantly agrees. At home, Andrew looks through his recording when his father, Richard, barges in. Richard smacks Andrew across the face, pushing him to the floor. Richard angrily tells Andrew that he's to do smacks Andrew across the face,
Damn.
pushing him to the floor. Richard angrily tells Andrew that he's to do what he's told. Matt and Andrew later arrive at the party and split up. Andrew records the party, seeing people having fun and dancing. He then spots Casey, a girl who also records her day for her vlog. Matt steps in and awkwardly tries to impress Casey, again dropping philosophical jargon. Andrew gets into some trouble when a guy accuses Andrew of filming his girlfriend. Andrew steps out of the party and heads to the parking lot. He cries as he cleans the dirt off of his camera. Steve, the popular kid, running for class president, calls out to Andrew and invites him to join him and his friends. Steve says he and Matt had found something in the woods and asks Andrew to film what they've discovered. Andrew joins Steve, and they arrive at a hole in the middle of a clearing. They hear strange sounds coming from the pit, and Steve dives in to explore. They explore deeper into the hole and find a cavern containing a massive glowing crystal. It starts humming, and everything begins shaking before turning black.
I was getting sick.
Several
that's why
weeks
I was
later,
like that.
Matt,
Wasn't
Steve,
feeling good.
and Andrew are in a backyard where they throw a baseball at each other. When Matt throws the ball at Steve, the ball swerves right and hits Steve sideways. Matt then throws the ball at Andrew, and Andrew stops the ball midair with his mind.
Well, if you
Andrew's
don't
nose
get your,
starts bleeding, and he drops it. The three then
balls
play
are
with
sweaty.
Lego pieces inside and
Knees
levitate the
deep,
pieces
bro.
without touching them. It appears that the mysterious crystal has given them the power
yeah,
of telekinesis.
I
Later, they decide to
didn't know you
return
was
to the
sick,
hole,
man.
but sea dirt has wholly filled it.
Yeah, bro, it just
Authorities also arrive.
just keep it 100 with you, bro. I didn't know how to call it, bro. Like, it was just like, damn, bro. You feel me? Like, we just got back cool again, type shit. You feel me? So, but So you just because you was like what, the regular flu or what? Was it the regular flu?
And tell the boys to keep away from the spot. On their ride home, Steve and Andrew talk about their families. Andrew tells Steve about his mom and his father, who used to be a fireman. An accident had injured Richard, and he now stays at home and collects insurance checks from the government. Steve also shares some problems at home with his parents. At home, Andrew practices levitating his camera. He hears his father on the phone, begging someone for more medical aid for Karen. Richard says he can no longer afford Karen's medication, but her situation is getting worse. The next day, Andrew takes Karen out for a stroll in the marina, and the pair enjoy a lovely time.
You see, they got that, the Lunky Locks. I don't want to say the actual name, but yeah, they declared it a health crisis or some shit like that, emergency, state of emergency. They just, man, I'm not trying to get like down again, but it is what it is. I'll just grind it on this shit again, but he said, nah, that shit different. How come I can't see that? I feel like a bad
Time out. Later, the boys are again outside, practicing their powers, throwing stones at a lake.
Too.
Andrew asks Matt if he likes him, and Matt says he does, but he used to find Andrew hard to communicate with. Andrew then asks him if he thinks they can do more with their powers. At school, Matt theorizes that their power is equitable to a muscle that they have to improve for it to get stronger.
No mustache,
the night before, he says he could lift up his bed off the ground without getting a
not 17. Stop
If they
playing.
lift something up too heavy or try to do something too complicated, it would strain their power and their nose would start to bleed. He suggests a slow progression to improve their strength. Andrew then suggests heading somewhere public to practice their ability.
What, the Lunky Locks is down there in the water? That's crazy, bro. That's crazy, bro. They really trying to make something happen again. We just went through this shit.
And they decide to do it at a supermarket. They each begin messing with people, doing harmless pranks. Andrew makes a grocery cart roll away. Steve scares a child by levitating a stuffed animal, and Matt tries to get a piece of gum out of a person's mouth but ends up whacking them instead. At a diner, Andrew tries stabbing Matt with a fork to show how their powers can even protect them from sharp objects and projectiles. Andrew then manifests an image of the Virgin Mary on his pancake pate, scaring one of the waitresses. The boys are having a fun time, using their powers foolishly. At the parking lot, Steve tries pranking a woman. He successfully moves her car to a different parking spot. Matt and Andrew are impressed, noting that this is probably the heaviest any of them have ever lifted. Steve's nose starts bleeding profusely, but he maintains he feels fine. The woman returns, and they all laugh at her confusion.
I hope all y'all get better,
Later,
man,
they're on a drive home when a truck behind them starts honking. Andrew steps in, aiming to make the pickup truck swerve a little, but ends up putting too much force. The truck veers off the road into a ravine and falling into a river. The boys rush out to help, and Steven dives into the water to retrieve the driver. They then call the police. Steve is visibly shaken by what happened, and Matt confronts Andrew. Andrew seems aloof and distant as Matt talks down to him, saying he's put someone in grave danger. Matt says their powers are getting stronger and harder to control and proposes implementing rules. The following day, they meet up with Steve at a landfill and see that he's levitating above them.
What? He said, yeah, bro's in the water, and we got cases already. Get the flip out of here, bro. Get out of here, bro. That's close. That is close. I'm right next door, bro. That's crazy. I can't believe they doing this again.
He encourages them to try it out. Matt goes first but has trouble getting himself off the ground, face-planting several times. Andrew tries next and gets himself up, ecstatic that he can float. He joins Steven, and they both cheer. Later, the boys are soaring through the clouds. They all speed through the sky, flying past one another at neck-breaking speeds. They even start throwing a football, catching it midair. They slow down, floating above when a plane suddenly flies past them. Steve gets knocked out, and Andrew flies in to save him. He grabs Steve, but they keep falling. Andrew slows them both down seconds before hitting the ground, and they both end up unscathed. Matt joins them, and they all start laughing and cheering among themselves, Elated knowing they're the first humans to fly, they then gather
Yeah,
for a
that'd be
sleepover
hard,
at Steve's
bro.
house, and
That was
Andrew
hard.
tells them that the day has been the best day of his entire life. The next
Man,
day at
for
school,
real,
they plan to
bro.
go on a trip around the world, flying to their dream destinations. Steve says he's planning a weekend trip to Hawaii, and Andrew says he wants to go to Tibet, thinking how beautiful and tranquil it is,
Like I
saying
said, I
that
hope
the
y'all
monks
get
there
better. I
have
hope
achieved
y'all
a
stay
high
away
level of
from that
enlightenment.
shit, man. That
Matt
new
later
shit,
meets with
that
Casey,
don't make no
handing
damn
her a
sense.
donation. He says it's for the drought she mentioned in one of her vlogs. Casey then tells Matt he can just
That don't
mail it
make
in
no damn
himself.
sense, bro.
Casey asks Matt the reason for his sudden change, saying how he used to be too smart to hang out with, and now he seems to care much for world issues and starts hanging out with people. Matt says that he's changed now, and he has a better understanding of people. He tells Casey he wants to hang out with her too, but Casey closes the door on him. Andrew and Steve hang out on top of a building, and Steve is amazed at Andrew's utilization of his power, seeing that he can levitate his camera with finesse. Andrew then says that he's been lonely for a long time before they got powers. He didn't even hang out with Matt that much, even though they're cousins. Steve then proposes they enter the school talent show, telling Andrew he'll help him with the performance. Andrew then prepares for the talent show, showing off his attire to Karen. As he heads out, Richard calls him and tells Andrew he's suspicious of him. Richard says he knows Andrew is up to something. At the talent show, Matt is operating the camera, and he runs into Casey, who's also recording the event. Steve and Andrew appear on stage and begin their magic show. The illusions and tricks are pretty much child's play for Andrew, using his telekinetic abilities. The two put on a great show, their classmates and schoolmates cheering all throughout the performance. Matt and Andrew then head to a house party where people all greet him.
Boy, I'm
At
robbing a
last,
bank.
Andrew experiences how it's like to be
These
noticed and
niggas out
appreciated.
here doing
The whole
talent shows
ordeal is
and
very
shit.
validating for him. Andrew meets a pink-haired girl at the party,
I
and
got
they start
superpowers,
talking
I'm
and hit it
robbing a
off
bank.
immediately. Andrew has fun at the party, and Matt is left with the camera. He leaves a sweet message for Andrew, but Casey spots him and invites him to leave the party. Steve is then the new cameraman, and he looks for Andrew. He goes upstairs to discover
I
that
can't
Andrew
deal
had
with
thrown
bro
up
with
all
no
over the girl he was
mustache.
with. Matt comes in laughing, but Andrew doesn't take the situation
Big
lightly.
tilapia face.
He shouts at Andrew,
Big bass
telling him
mouth
to leave.
ass.
The following day, Andrew plays with a spider before making it levitate and splitting it into pieces. Richard is then seen looking through Andrew's room,
Will it be
and he
the
sees the
school
camera.
looter?
Richard then confronts Andrew about spending too much money on a camera while having barely any money for his mother's medication. Richard continues shouting at him, and Andrew answers back, angering Richard. Richard then attacks
see that,
Andrew,
bro. It's
pinning him
tap
down,
in
but
with me.
Andrew
I'm
fights
about
back,
to
using his powers to overpower Richard. Andrew tells him he can crush him if he wanted to, then throws him to the floor. Richard is left moaning
Hell
and
yeah,
groaning.
I just got off work.
Meanwhile, Matt is with Casey when his nose
Stay
starts
up, bro.
bleeding even though he hasn't used his powers. Andrew is in the middle of a thunderstorm, crying. Steve arrives, saying his nose started bleeding, and he heard Andrew's voice calling to him. Andrew asks Steve to leave him alone, but Steve tells Andrew to calm down and return to the ground. Andrew gets angrier, and lightning suddenly strikes. Time passes, and Andrew records a funeral. He sees Casey and Matt attending, as well as their other classmates. Steve had been struck by lightning and died. Andrew then spots Matt glaring at him. After
Damn.
the service, Matt confronts Andrew about what happened to Steve, questioning how he got struck by lightning when there were no recorded lightning strikes. Matt orders Andrew to tell the truth, but Andrew remains quiet. He avoids the confrontation and flies away. The next day, Andrew is back at Steve's grave, apologizing.
It
He
would be
says
the
he
black
didn't know
dude
what happened,
first, though.
and he must have lost control. He goes back to the pit where they got their powers and sees it's now overgrown with grass, and a pattern has started forming around it. Andrew then heads to school and sees people ridiculing him for vomiting at the party. He sees the pink-haired girl with her friends, and her friends make fun of him too. The bully also teases him, mimicking him vomiting. Andrew is overcome by anger. He approaches the bully and pulls several of his teeth out. At a bathroom stall, he shows the camera the pieces of teeth and describes how he took them. At a junkyard, Andrew talks to his camera and speaks about evolution and the concept of an
Brody
apex
out
predator.
here losing
He talks
his
about
mind.
how predators don't feel guilt when killing their prey and how humans don't feel guilt when stepping on ants or squishing flies and mosquitoes. He equates himself as being a human apex predator. His abilities may bring harm to people, but for him, that's just how things are. He then crushes a car behind him with ease. Matt barges into Andrew's room, finding out about what happened at
Matter of
school with the
fact,
bully.
I'ma leave
He
it
stresses
playing
how
for my
important
boy,
it is for
feel
them
me?
to
Yeah, I
follow
feel
their
you,
rules
Brody.
as
I
they're getting
appreciate
too
it.
powerful for their own good. Matt then warns Andrew that he'd have to step in if Andrew doesn't stop harming people. They get into an argument, and Matt throws a punch, but Andrew catches his fist. Matt then leaves immediately. Andrew heads to the pharmacy to get more medication for his mother,
You
but the
tried to
pharmacist
sleep,
tells
bro.
him he doesn't have enough money. Left with no other choice, Andrew decides to take more drastic action for his mother. He takes his father's old firefighter suit and goes out to forcefully take money from people. He first targets the men on his street who always make fun of him. He blasts all of them away, smashing them into cars and onto the asphalt. In seconds, he renders all of them unconscious and takes all their money. He then goes to a gasoline station, disabling the cashier and taking all the money in the
I
cash
told you
register.
I'm robbing a bank
As he
right
makes his
off
way
the
out,
rip.
the cashier chases after him with a shotgun. Andrew swipes the shotgun away, and it ends up firing at a gasoline tank. The tank explodes, and the cashier and Andrew are thrown back. Andrew catches fire and loses consciousness. Andrew gets admitted to a hospital, and Richard is called in. Richard enters Andrew's room and starts crying.
He just sucked.
He tells an
He
unconscious
sucked.
Andrew that Karen
I
had
would have
died.
got away.
He then blames Andrew for her death as he thinks she wouldn't have died if he hadn't been looking for Andrew. He starts shouting at Andrew, ordering him to apologize for Karen's death. His shouting gets louder, and Andrew finally wakes up, blasting a hole through the hospital wall. Matt is at a birthday party when his nose starts bleeding. He immediately knows something is wrong with Andrew and sees a news report about an explosion at the hospital. He immediately leaves with Casey driving to the hospital. They reach the hospital and see Andrew picking up Richard and dropping him. Matt swoops in and catches Richard. They get into the car again, but Andrew finds them and lifts them to the Space Needle before dropping them. Matt gets Casey and flies her down to safety. People are recording everything on their cell phones, and police
gotta
and
be a
medical
villain,
personnel
though, you
scramble
feel
to
me?
handle the situation.
That shit
Matt
look
flies
fake
up
as
to
hell.
Andrew,
though.
trying to calm him down and convince him to stop. Andrew says he has always been treated terribly, and this is his chance to take revenge on everything that has happened to him. Matt promises that he'll help change his life and tells him they could run away and start a new life. Matt continues speaking, but Andrew throws a bus at him. Andrew then lands at a building, and Matt gets up to fight back. Andrew and Matt fight, getting thrown all over the city. They smash through roads, cars, buildings, apartments, and houses, not showing any signs of slowing down.
Damn.
They throw vehicles at each other, Andrew having no regard for human life. Matt still tries to convince Andrew to stop, but the police surround them.
This my way of watching movies real quick. You feel me? Like, you get what I'm saying.
Matt gets shot, and Andrew blasts the police back before flying away. They both land at a plaza in front of a building, where the police surround them again. Matt begs Andrew to stop, but he doesn't listen. The police open fire, but Andrew stops all the bullets. Andrew then starts shouting, and the buildings behind them shake violently.
Bro,
Glass
they
and
ugly.
concrete crack, and debris rains on them. Matt pleads with Andrew not to hurt the cops, but Andrew is too far gone. He realizes there's no other way but to kill Andrew. Matt takes the statue behind Andrew and aims a steel spear at him before impaling him through the chest. Everything falls quiet, and Andrew hangs lifeless in the middle of the plaza. The police approach, but Matt flies up and escapes. Time passes, and Matt is seen flying above snowy mountaintops. He talks to a camera as if it were Andrew, and he points it at several Tibetan monk temples. He leaves, saying farewell to Andrew. Subscribe to
Alright,
watch
chat.
more videos like this.
Listen up, gang. I appreciate y'all, man. Keep running the subs up. I'm almost there. I got all my watch time hours. Cuts, stay up, bro. You feel me? I'll catch you next time. Make sure y'all hit that like button if you're not new.